finish up video on this 2016 Civic that had the leaky OEM Honda condenser that is carried under the extended Honda warranty that our local Honda wanted to charge this technician $1,400. Scammed the customer by not carrying over the warranty, and he's well within the warranty within time and mileage. So technician put it in himself. Video number 1 was about a week ago. Video number 2 when I was first evacuating this and leak checking it. So while it was under vacuum pump, I went through all the connections, because remember in video number 1 we had a broken line where it went in upon removal. So we have a connection here. We have the 2 connections at the condenser. One connection is right up there. You can barely see it. That's one connection. And the other connection is right there. So while it was under vacuum, use the ultrasonic leak detector. Then under pressure, dry nitrogen, 170 psi. Went again with the ultrasonic leak detector. Then applied the bubbles to all the connectors for looking for bubbles. Then vacuated it. Then filled it up with refrigerant. And then again went over it with the electronic leak detector, the ultrasonic, and used the bubbles again one more time, because once you have hot refrigerant flowing through a liquid line, you expand the metal and you can cause some leaks. And with these TYC condensers, the comebacks that have come to the shops there, they had to do them again, was that the fitting was machined a little bit bigger, and when they would get hot and with high pressure they would expand. All you gotta do is expand 1/1000th more, and if that O-ring was just barely sealing before and you open up a little bit with some hot pressure, you bypass gas and then it'll leak. So I tried to go through all the scenarios. So the normal pressures at this ambient temperature, which is 74 degrees, 72 degrees outside, taken at this point, right at this little thermistor down here. Right here, the air is blowing in this direction right now. It's a breezy, windy day. And 34 psi on the low side, 116 on the high side. We have 49 degrees, kind of a high dash temperature. These not the greatest cars, usually 45. Sometimes you get them lower, but I haven't found these to be really reliable at being at the lower dash temperatures. Look at our section line temperature, 68. And why is our section line temperature so high? Because what do we have on here? We have the internal heat exchanger section line where the hot gas goes into a heat exchanger and then comes out on the other side feeding the expansion valve because R1234 is not as efficient as R134, and R134 was not as efficient as R12. So to help these vehicles, they added on a heat exchanger to help with the efficiency. That added more complexity, that added more cost, but so they could use smaller charges and a slightly less efficient gas, they've been starting to use internal heat exchangers and better finnage and more cooling tubes, more fins, better condensers. They've been doing this over the years. It's so you can shrink down the size, become more efficient. But when you put on aftermarket, you'll notice they have fewer fins per inch for cooling and fewer tubes. That's one of the drawbacks of using aftermarket on some of them. So, past nitrogen press, past bubble test. We got UV dye, went over the new, looking for leaks with UV light, with the UV dye, past ultrasonic, past electronic leak detector. This is good to go. See you guys on the next one. Remember, there was 2 prior videos on this particular vehicle and one of them was last week.